Zion Williamson is definitely staying in New Orleans. Turns out, he really does have solid loyalty to the Pelicans. Zion has done something Chris Paul and Anthony Davis failed to previously do. With unparalleled dedication to the team and excellent camaraderie with his teammates, great things seem to be in store for the New Orleans Pelicans. Here's the details on Zion Williamson putting his handcock on another Pelican contract. The deed was done in front of numerous eyewitnesses and media sources. It kind of seemed like he was a lawmaker about to co-sign legislation with all the attention and celebration attached to the signing. But he did it. And when he officially signed on the dotted line, he committed to half a decade of service. Then proudly cheered, "I'm locked in, baby." Following the future 2022-23 season, Zion stands to earn up to $231 million over a 5-year span. Although the millions could ultimately end up a lower amount, the years are engraved in stone, because there's no player option in Zion's contract extension. He's bound to the Pelicans for the maximum period allowed under the current collective bargaining agreement, the Pelicans' most prominent contracts. The contract seems like a very lucrative deal. However, Chris Paul was not compelled to re-up in New Orleans, signing a 4-year rookie extension that included a player option in the final season. He turned it down. Same goes for Anthony Davis, whose representation secured a player option in their client's 5th season. Zion may be different, but he isn't the first renowned Pelican to refuse a transition to a different team. 2 years ago, Brandon Ingram signed a 5-year max that also didn't include a player option. Although Ingram signed his extension as a restricted free agent with bird rights, explaining why the designated rookie rule doesn't apply to him, the more important details here is that the 2 biggest cornerstones of the David Griffin era have voluntarily planted the biggest flags in franchise history. Even prior diehard fan favorites never gave up all leverage. Jrue Holiday, for an example, had a player option included in his 5-year max that was signed in 2017. Another favorite, David West, did the same, signing a 5-year deal with a player option for the 5th season right before the 2006-07 season began. Zion's deal is now set in stone. As if to further solidify his bond to New Orleans, Zion, who coincidentally enjoyed his 22nd birthday right before sealing the deal, signed the contract in a very public manner in front of several of the city's younger citizens. His young entourage, who provided the backdrop for the paramount occasion, consisted of the Dryads YMCA, which is the home of Zion's summer basketball camp. It's been under the guidance of Lee Anderson, who is also Zion's stepfather. The signing event started off with Zion enjoying a scrimmage with kids ranging from 7 to 14 years of age. After the fun, Zion put pen to paper. He then revealed in a genuine fashion that he broke his foot exactly 1 year ago and described the roller coaster of emotions that followed. He was quoted saying, "On my birthday last year, I found out I broke my foot. I was out the whole year. It was a tough year. And then for the Pelicans to give me this birthday gift, I'm not going to let them down. I'm not going to let the city down. I'm not going to let my family down. And most importantly, I'm not going to let myself down." He went on to admit, "The last few months were a roller coaster of emotions. I felt it most for my family because at the beginning of the season, I told the world, if you ever want to know if I want to be here, just ask me. Instead of asking me, the world just ran with narratives." And that was very true. Headlines a few months before he renewed his contract read that Zion was contemplating a trade. Zion continued to explain one of the main difficulties of his year off by saying, "So when my family is going out in public, they're getting harassed by people on why we don't like New Orleans or why I don't want to play here, when that's not the case at all. I wasn't able to play because my foot was broken, so that sucked." Zion's happiness about the procession and his future in the city was obvious, as he maintained a grin so wide that even Magic Johnson would blush. As Zion disclosed the obstacles of the past 365 days, he displayed a side of himself that his fans rarely witness. His fans were able to deviate from his typical game face and see the sweeter side of Zion. It showed that the dominant force on the court actually does have a sensitive side. It was obvious because NBA players don't usually go to such lengths if their heart is not really into the cause, especially those individuals who prefer to stay in the shadows and lead very private lives. But it was of the utmost importance for Zion to set the record straight and assure New Orleans that he's got their back and he's willing to literally sign that pact. So during the event, and amid thanking his family, Mrs. Benson, David Griffin, and everyone who has helped him over the course of the last year, to talking about his hunger to win a championship, Zion indeed articulated that he's definitely dedicated to the mission of bringing great things to New Orleans. It's a city that he adores, and now the entire nation is fully aware. And now other NBA teams have another major threat to their championship goals. The narrative is undoubtedly changing. Zion has matched Braden Ingram's level of commitment to the Pelicans. The amount of buy-in couldn't be any greater. The future couldn't look any brighter for the New Orleans Pelicans. The big question: how long is Zion Williamson out after signing his new contract with the Pelicans? As previously mentioned, Zion didn't suit up for the Pelicans during the 2021-22 season. But he's been on the road to recovery and intends to return to the court in the 2022-23 season under his new contract. As reported by The Athletic's credible source, Shams Charania, Zion signed a 5-year rookie max contract extension that would keep him in New Orleans through the 2027-28 season. Zion underwent foot surgery during the 2021 offseason that ultimately held him out of the entire season due to a number of setbacks during the 21-year-old's road to recovery. In late November of 2021, the Pelicans originally announced that Zion had been cleared to participate in full team activities. But that statement had to be retracted because days later, he was shut down from basketball activities once again. Then in mid-December, the Pelicans announced that Zion Williamson would be re-evaluated in 4 to 6 weeks after receiving an injection in his right foot. By the beginning of 2022, the Pelicans provided an update that Zion was continuing his rehab on his injured foot away from the team. Zion then commented, "As you can imagine, this has been a very difficult process for me. I know there's work to be done in my recovery before I can safely return to the court, but I will continue to put in the time necessary so I can get back on the floor with my team and represent Pelicans fans and the city of New Orleans at the highest level." The following month, just days before Valentine's Day, close to the All-Star break, Pelicans Executive Vice President David Griffin shared another update on Zion. He was quoted saying, "Zion continues to progress well, antidotedly at least. He feels very good. We hope that towards the end of next week or beginning of the following, we'll have some imaging done and have a better update. In the overall road to recovery, we can predict what's next for Zion. The main question still lingers on fans' minds. When will he return?" The number 1 pick in the 2019 NBA draft was limited to 24 games in his rookie season after he underwent surgery to repair his torn right lateral meniscus. Zion appeared in 61 of a possible 72 games in his sophomore season and earned the first All-Star selection of his career with averages of 27 points, 7.2 rebounds, and 3.7 assists per game. Then, he had to miss the last 7 games of the season with a fractured left ring finger. But now, it's safe to say that Zion is out of the woods because in May, Zion received a full clearance. He is expected to be back on the court with his team when the training camp begins at the end of September or early October of 2022. The 2022-23 NBA season will begin in October, and we can all expect Zion to reign on the court on national TV once again.